Okay, so we're making another video. This time it's art therapy, and again, it's with Katie. I'm so grateful to you, Katie, for doing this for me. Do you want to introduce yourself a bit?
Yes, I'm Katie. I'm from a small town in Minnesota. Mina and I met in Oxford, like in the Stone Age, I feel like, or it was a long time ago. Not
Yeah,
quite the Stone Age, but a long
yeah,
time.
more than 10 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I like to paint icons when I have the time. And so I was excited to see art therapy on the list, as I do find the painting of icons to be a therapeutic thing for me to do. So.
Mm. Well, that's interesting. I didn't think of that. Yes, I don't know much about art therapy, but honestly, I do think play. Somebody recently said, one of the lecturers, that although it is believed there are two basic needs, are the need for security and attachment, and the need for autonomy and authenticity. She said, actually, we also have another need for play.
Hmm.
This was the a schema therapist teacher. And I thought that was very interesting. I'd never heard of that, like a basic need for play. So perhaps that's an important thing to think about as we think about art therapy. And let's see what we're going to learn. There's a little intro first, and I guess I'll read the intro and then you can read the key techniques. Is that okay?
Yep, that sounds good.
So, in art therapy, the focus is on using creative expression, such as drawing, painting, or sculpture, to help clients explore emotions, thoughts, and experiences that may be difficult to express verbally. Art therapy operates on the belief that the creative process can be a healing tool, offering a way to externalize internal conflicts and gain new perspectives on one's challenges. By the way, this is something we do like in fantasy work in other therapies. So in our videos, we always have the same client. The client is struggling to ask their boss for time off. So in art therapy, for a client struggling to ask for time off, an art therapist would use artistic expression to help the client explore the emotions, fears, or conflicts they associate with making the request. By creating this visual representation of their thoughts and feelings, the client can gain insight into their inner world and begin to process their anxieties in a safe, nonverbal way. Key techniques, Katie.
So here are the key techniques. Number one, nonverbal expression. The therapist encourages the client to use art materials to express thoughts and emotions they may not be fully aware of or able to verbalize. Two, externalization. By creating artwork that represents their inner experience, such as anxiety about asking for time off, the client can separate themselves from the problem and see it from a new perspective. Three, exploration and reflection. The therapist and client discuss the artwork, exploring its meaning and any insights it reveals about the client's emotional state, thought patterns, or relationships. Four, processing emotions. Through the creative process, the client can explore and release difficult emotions like fear, anxiety, or shame in a symbolic, non threatening way. And five, insight and empowerment. Art provides the client with a new way to understand and relate to their challenges, often revealing strengths, values, or hidden aspects of the self.
So, insight and processing through externalizing to make it safe, and I guess to almost also unblend from something, just like in the IFS video we made. Nonverbal expression. Interesting. So, ChatGPT has written out a dialogue to simulate how a session might look. Now, if you're an art therapist, and I do believe we have some followers who are art therapists, please let us know if this is close or not so close to how it actually looks. I'm going to read out the part of a client, no, therapist. You can be the client, and and we'll see what happens in an art therapy session for this client who struggles to ask for time off. I'm excited to learn.
I've been avoiding asking my boss for time off, even though I know I need it. I just get really anxious when I think about it.
I hear you. It sounds like this anxiety is making it difficult to act on what you need. How about we use art to explore what's going on inside of you? Uh, I'd like you to take some time with these materials, maybe markers, paint, or clay, and create something that represents how you feel when you think about asking for time off. You don't have to plan it out, just let yourself create freely. So now the client, Katie, has a piece of paper, I believe,
Mhm.
and we're waiting for her to draw something as what will happen in a therapy session. I wonder how much time therapists usually allow for this. Now, if you're an art therapist, let us know, because of course it could take a whole hour or 2 minutes. Is there any kind of limit?
Okay, I drew this. It's kind of chaotic, lots of dark colors, and there's a big black ball in the middle, like it's stuck.
Mm, that's really powerful. Let's take a moment to sit with your image. Can you put it up on the screen a bit more? Can
Mhm.
you tell me a bit about what the colors and the shape represent for you?
The dark colors feel like the fear and tension I have when I think about asking my boss for time off. The ball in the middle, it feels like a knot in my stomach, like I'm trapped.
That makes a lot of sense. Your artwork really captures that tension and stuck feeling. Let's explore the black ball. What happens when you look at it? Do any words or feelings come to mind?
It feels heavy, like it's holding me back. It reminds me of all the reasons why I don't feel like I deserve time off, like my boss will think I'm being lazy.
That's important. This black ball seems to be carrying some heavy beliefs about your worth and your boss's expectations. Let's imagine for a moment that you could change this part of the image. If the black ball could transform into something else, what would you want it to become?
I guess I'd like to turn it into something lighter, maybe a blue circle, maybe something that feels more peaceful, less stuck.
That's an interesting shift from heavy and stuck to light and peaceful. How about we try drawing that change? Can you take some blue and draw the ball, what the ball would look like if it were lighter, more peaceful? So the client gets a chance to redo their initial artwork. Again, let us know if that is something that you experience in your art therapy sessions as clients or therapists.
All right. Here, it's a blue circle now. It feels like it's floating, like it's not so weighed down by fear.
Beautiful. Now let's sit with this new image for a moment. How do you feel as you look at the blue circle compared to the red or black ball?
I feel a lot calmer. It's like I don't have to carry all that heaviness.
That's a powerful shift. This blue circle represents your ability to move through the anxiety without being trapped by it. Now, thinking about asking for time off, how does it feel when you picture this blue circle inside you instead of the heavy black ball?
It feels more manageable. I'm still nervous, but I don't feel as stuck. Like I could actually do it without being overwhelmed.
That's wonderful. This shift in your artwork reflects a shift in your emotional state. Remember, you have the power to transform that feeling of heaviness into something lighter, just like you did with the drawing. How could this image of this blue circle help you when it's time to ask for time off?
I think I can picture it when I start to feel nervous and anxious. It's a reminder that I don't have to carry the fear so heavily.
Exactly. Your artwork can serve as a visual reminder that you have the ability to shift how you feel inside. You can take this image with you, whether it's in your mind or something you physically carry with you, as a reminder that you're capable of asking for what you need, even if the anxiety is there. Okay, thank you for that role play. What do you think?
I like it. I mean, and I think it's interesting because I definitely have preferred words and sort of like analytical approaches and maybe more science and stuff. And I think that like, well, first of all, I think it taught me that you don't have to be artistic necessarily, naturally. I mean, not that you should force yourself to do art therapy if you don't want to, but it's even for people who, like me, just would rather write a paper than paint something. And it was, even when I started painting icons, it was really surprising for me, like how powerful using the image over with the words. I shouldn't say over the words, but with words can just be like really powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I also kind of shy away from anything that seems too like wooey, and I just like this the official stuff. But honestly, personally, that's not the case. I do have like a mental health bullet journal where I like to draw out my feelings or have my thoughts represented in like different bubbles. So there's a lot of value in it, and I want to be more open to this kind of work. I mean, I have actually drawn with clients in sessions now that I think about it. And the best thing is that you can take that thing home and have it as a visual reminder. I do like that.
Yeah.
So I have used it as a therapist now when I think back. And I certainly find it helpful personally. But, it's just like we don't usually, unless we are our therapists, we don't always put those two together. And
Right.
obviously, there's lots of benefits.
Yeah.
There's a summary. I guess I'll just quickly read the summary. So in art therapy, the therapist helps the client use creative expression to externalize and explore their emotions and fears around asking for time off. Through the process of creating artwork, the client can express nonverbal emotions such as anxiety, fear, or feeling stuck. We didn't talk about this nonverbal thing, but basically our um, attachment trauma usually happens when we are in the pre-verbal ages 1 to 3, 0 to 3. And a lot of that can only come out in a nonverbal way, whether it's through touch, as they use in some therapies, art. So definitely I can see the value of using nonverbal techniques for sure. So I'm just going to continue reading the summary. The therapist encourages the client to transform aspects of their artwork, which mirror their ability to shift their emotional state. So it gives you agency, I guess, to transform a heavy red ball into a lighter blue circle. By reflecting on the artwork, the client gains insight into their inner experience and finds ways to feel more empowered and less trapped by their fears. The artwork becomes a symbolic tool for managing emotions and making values-based decisions. So you're left with a nice symbol. You can go from nonverbal to having a sense of agency to having the adult self looking at maybe the child self. I'm translating into terms that I'm more familiar with. But yeah, this is quite interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I guess we'll stop the video there so we don't make it too long. If you are an art therapist, please join the conversation. Tell us, is this way off base or is it kind of what it looks like? And yeah, and I'm definitely more open now to art therapy after reading this. Hopefully people find it useful.
Yes.
And I'll hopefully,
Yeah, this was fun. Thank you. Yeah.
I'll see you in another video, hopefully.
All right. Sounds good. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.